This is the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I know you've probably seen 1,000 videos about it already, but this is my experience 48 hours later with this phone, so stay tuned. This is Philip's Future. Drop a like to this video and let's get started. Before you get to the phone, let's see what you get in the box if you decide to pick one up. Again, a tiny box just like last year, only difference this time is there is no plastic wrap around the box, but just these two little pull tabs to get inside the box. Tearing that apart and the first thing you get is the phone on top, and oh boy, I'm feeling that extra weight already. It's heavy. Beneath that you get a USB-C to lightning cable, some paperwork, a SIM ejector tool and an Apple sticker, and that's everything in the box. This one here has a base storage of 128 gigs and it goes for $10.99, but you can stretch up to 1 terabyte for the first time. At 238 grams, the iPhone 13 Pro Max is a heavy phone and it might feel uncomfortable at first, at least for me it did, until you get used to it, if you even can. Now that's not a bad thing at all because of what's packed inside here. A bigger battery, a beefier camera system that is an upgrade to last year's 12 Pro Max, and that is so much welcome. And by the way, this is the Sierra Blue color model, the most hyped of all this year, that looks so good, not gonna lie. Talking of the camera, this phone takes some pretty good looking photos and videos, but in this video, I'll mainly focus on photos. There are 3 lenses on the back, both packing 12 megapixel sensors. Opening the camera up for the first time will present you with photographic style options, so you can pick your preferred look, and straight away I left it at high contrast option because of my reasons. I don't know if it's me, but the stock iPhone photos look a little bit too saturated and warm for my liking. That's why with high contrast style, it kinda gets that Google Pixel look that I prefer, and I happen to have a Google Pixel phone, so matching them as close as possible will be a great deal. I'll throw a few pictures on the screen and let you guess which one is which. One is from the iPhone 13 Pro Max and the other one is from a Google Pixel 4a that also has a 12 megapixel sensor from the past though. A was from the iPhone and B was from the Pixel. Let me know down in the comment sections below if you got that right. To be honest, I expected a lot from the 13 Pro Max, and even though this is not a fair comparison at all because well, the 4a is a third the price of the 13 Pro Max, I still prefer the images coming out of the Pixel because pictures are often true to life, saturation and sharpness is just enough. The 13 Pro Max on the other hand has better dynamic range and low light capabilities, but sometimes HDR can get too aggressive like in this photo here, where the Pixel has a better representation of the sun on this bright lit monitor. I really dig that macro mode though. It lets you get closer to objects, but that one quirk where it switches to macro mode even when you don't want it to is so frustrating, but good news is that Apple is working on a fix for that. The display on the iPhone 13 Pro Max though is something else. This is a 458 ppi 6.7 inch Super Retina XDR OLED display with a refresh rate of up to 120Hz. Finally Apple. Honestly, I didn't get blown away by that 120Hz because iOS is so smooth in the first place, even on older iPhones, and the fact that I've used a high refresh rate phone before also contributes to that. I personally don't think 120Hz should make you switch, more so if you're using an iPhone 12. Media consumption on this phone is next level. Colors are great, but wait until you turn up the volume. Sometimes it feels like it's a small subwoofer depending on the songs you listen to. That's how good the speakers are, and I appreciate that. Moving to gaming, it's excellent, pairing that massive display with the smooth performance from the A15 Bionic processor that powers this phone. To summarize that, it's a powerhouse. I mean, no dropped frame rates or lags whatsoever. I wish Apple moves to a narrow aspect ratio though for better handling and grip like most Android phones out there, keeping in mind this is a heavy phone and a slippery one as well that can easily slide off your hands. Talking of slipperiness, the sides of the iPhone 13 Pro Max are made out of stainless steel, and I still wonder why Apple of all companies has not found a way to hide fingerprints, because the second you pick this bad boy up, you get a lot of fingerprints and it's annoying to wipe it every single time unless you use a case. Don't get me wrong though, it looks premium, but I'd take the aluminium matte finish of the regular iPhone 13 any day, anytime. The back is matte though, and that's a nice touch. iOS 15 is what this phone comes with out of the box, and it's pretty much the iOS we're used to, with just a few more new features. I won't cover that, but I'll leave a link to a video that goes through all the iOS 15 goodies, so check that out if you'd like. Performance is great for the most part, the OS is smoother thanks to 120Hz, apps stay in RAM for as long as you need them to, and that's great. Battery life is amazing on this phone, and just for reference of how good the battery life is here, I took this phone out of the box with 75% battery left, and that lasted me through the setup process, taking a lot of pictures the next day and throwing heavy tasks at it like gaming. I juiced it up the next day in the evening, and I'll just say it right away. Even though I haven't used this phone for a long time to fully gauge it, battery life is a stronghold here and you won't be disappointed. The iPhone 13 Pro Max is a beast and is meant for the pros, as they say. Battery life is excellent, cameras are great for the most part, the display is really good, and the speakers, that's just next level. It's just too heavy for me, and that's a big reason for me to consider the regular 13, plus the fingerprinty side aren't my thing at all, even if it's a small thing. I'd still recommend the iPhone 13 Pro, not the Max, because that has everything here with just a smaller battery. For most people though, the regular iPhone 13 is also a good pick. Anyway, I hope your questions were answered, and that's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching guys, drop a like to this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already because that helps a lot, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, and most of all, stay safe.